Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. And above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the topic of what we hope to be another fantastic, entertaining, informative episode, I want to welcome back to the channel Mr. Bluebeard, otherwise known as Bill Schuster. How's it going,
Thank
Bill?
you, Armando. Doing well, ready to close out the decade,
Yes. Ladies and
1979.
gentlemen, we are concluding our series on Tripping Through the 70s, 1979. Uh, Throughout this series, Bill and I have picked seven songs, five top favorite hits, and two honorable mentions. Now, putting this list together for us was extremely difficult. Before we started taping, Bill said he had another seven songs that he wanted to go through that he might want to switch out for 1979. So I quickly hit the record button before he switched everything out, and we had to go and start from scratch. So again, we've each picked five songs each plus two honorable mentions. So without further ado, because we are on a timeline for this episode, I will pass the virtual mic over to Bill, and he'll give us his number five for the year 1979. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I just did a quick count on my starter list for this year.
Yeah.
I began with 24 of the 100 top Billboard hits for this
Oh,
year,
jeez.
and I had to narrow that 24 down to seven. So, yeah, it was painful. There's a lot of songs I really love that I'm not going to talk about because we're only doing seven. So, that said, my number five has actually been mentioned previously, but not as a pick. It's MacArthur Park by
Ooh.
Donna Summer. And I'm breaking my rule. My rule thus far has been I'm looking at the single versions. All right, call me a hypocrite, whatever. It has to be the full length version that was included on an entire side of
Of
Summer's live album. It was the only
yeah.
studio song, but it took up the whole side. It was a massive monster. Uh, of course, this is a Jim Webb song originally, the basic MacArthur Park, not including Heaven Knows and everything else there, but it was originally a hit for famous actor Richard Harris, who you may know from A Man Called Horse or the Harry Potter movies, originally as Dumbledore, many, many other roles. Um,
Yeah.
but Donna's version is the version.
The quintessential definitive.
Yeah. And of course, my wife, Stacy, mocks the lyrics to this song, thinks they're goofy as hell. And well, they kind of are. Someone left the cake out in the rain.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I can take it. It took so long to bake it,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'll never have that recipe again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Or the way
that's
Donna sings it, the way Donna Summer sings it, she just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds on that verse, and it's just like, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's-
exactly. The lyrics may be a little silly, but she transforms it into something else.
She makes it her own, and the
Yeah.
version that Bill is referring to, the 17-minute plus version that Bill is referring to, we referred to it in the 1978 episode, but it is, I believe, side four of Live and More from Donna Summer. And it features Joe Esposito of Brooklyn Dreams, who would go on to duet with Patty Austin in 1981 with Come to Me, uh, released on Quest Records. But, anyways, back to MacArthur Park. It features MacArthur Park, Heaven Knows, One of a Kind, and it ends with MacArthur Park Reprise. So there you go. Um,
It's like, this is the era where progressive rock was at its height, or it was coming out of its greatest period, the early to mid
yeah, we were
70s. But
stranded on Love Beach.
yeah, but this is disco prog essentially. It's a multi-part epic,
Yeah,
which is weird and cool.
yeah, yeah.
Only in 1979.
Yeah,
Wow.
and what I like about the track too on the long version is you have the call and response between Donna and Joe. You know, it's just like, whoo. Mm, my God. Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Just
Um,
remember, folks, never leave your cake out in the rain.
there you go.
Put it in the Tupperware, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, because you never know if you'll lose that recipe.
That's right.
My number five on this list is we're going to have a little bit of a Canadian contingent here. I just want to stop from Gino Vanelli.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. First of all, I've never seen a bigger perm on a head on a guy's head in the 70s than Gino had. I'm sorry. Uh, But that lead off lyric, when I think of those nights in Montreal, I get the sweetest thoughts of you and me. I'm going to quote Burton Cummings here. If that is not Canadiana, I don't know what the is. Okay, I'm sorry. And he does it with such a soulful, smooth, suave delivery. It is just like, my God, and it is so heartful or heartfelt and passionately delivered. Um, and and if you see him in the video when he does it, there's like a live performance video. Could he not get a bigger belt buckle for his jeans, for his belt at the time? Please. But yeah, I mean, it is soul, it is R&B, adult contemporary. It's Gino Vanelli, and it's that good. Um, yeah. Oof. Did I get you with that one?
That's a classic. That and Living Inside Myself, that's his other big classic ballad of that era. That both
Yeah, I
amazing,
think he
soulful
doesn't get
songs.
enough mention. Gino Vannelli doesn't get enough mention for his versatility as a singer and as an arranger, as a writer,
And an
oh,
instrumentalist. I mean, yeah, a lot of people. I have not yet dug deep into his albums. I've been meaning to forever, but from what I've heard from other people who are more familiar with his
yeah,
in-depth catalog, he gets very art rock, proggy,
yeah,
even.
yeah. There's an album that he does that I have. I went out, me going out and buying albums at once, all at once. I have his a good amount of his 70s albums, and he does an album. He has an album called The Gist of the Gemini,
Mhm.
from 76. Oh my God. Oh yeah, it's good. It is really good. Um, but yeah, no, I could not include this. This is a good funk soul piece of perfection.
It's what we called a panty dropper back in the day.
Oh yeah, I mean, people would women would throw their panties on stage, and sometimes they'd still be wearing them. Tom Jones had the same effect. But yeah, that's my number five pick for
Nice.
79.
All right. Well, this one's kind of a panty dropper too, but and it also is from a band who has a art rock, prog rock connection, but they
Yeah.
also had some smooth R&B pop soul hits. It's Ambrosia with How Much I Feel.
Ooh, okay.
I love this band. I own all five of their albums, and they're all wonderful. Uh, and yeah, they are kind of all over the map. They started out as involved deeply with Alan Parsons, and they were very much an art rock, prog rock band. But even on the first album, they had "Holding On to Yesterday," which was a hit in a similar vein here. This
Yeah,
soulful ballad.
yeah.
How Much I Feel, though, it was a monster hit, and it's a song about a douchebag. Um, and I say that because if you get into the lyrics, there's this guy who talks about having he's singing this song to a former lover, and in the lyrics he talks about how I got a wife now, for years we've been going strong, but then he gets this point where he does this, oh no, and it's really dramatic the way he sings that, oh no, there's just something that I've got to say. Sometimes we make love, I still see your face. But whoa, dude, that is cold. You just talked about you got a wife now. For years you've been going strong, and you're here telling your former lover that you're picturing her
And that,
when you're with your wife. That
that's
is
true.
fucked up.
That is, yes, we're on the channel, guys. Yeah,
Ah,
that is a kick and a half for your ass. I mean, that is like you want to see your wife drop a toaster in the bath while you're in the tub.
ooh,
I
yeah.
mean, oh yeah, and no court in the land would convict them. I'm telling you, like, I'm telling.
But aside from
Yeah,
what a douchebag this guy may be,
yeah,
and the sketchy nature of these lyrics, it is such a gorgeous song, so
yeah,
well sung and performed and arranged, and just David Pack was the writer of this song. Him and Joe Puerta were the two main vocalists for
yeah,
Ambrosia, but David wrote most of the pop hits.
yeah,
Uh, and oh boy, he had a voice for this.
yeah, yeah.
He'll be appearing again with Ambrosia once we go into the next decade. Spoiler.
Mm. Okay,
Uh,
cool.
but yeah, how much I feel is just however you feel about the lyrical content, it is a great song and it's still fun to sing along with. And yeah, pop masterpiece.
Okay, cool,
It's that blue eyed soul, basically.
cool. No, it's a good one. Um, my my first, well, my second one, sorry, I should say. We're gonna do some ass shaking here. Earth, Wind, and Fire with Boogie Wonderland featuring the Emotions.
Yeah.
Um, from the album I Am, released in 1979, co-produced by David Foster, who again only has 16 Grammys, hasn't gotten his 17th yet.
Speaking of douchebags,
There you go. Where's your 17th? Where is it? Where is it? You don't got it. You know why? You suck. I'm moving on. I'm not even
you
gonna go
did
there.
have quite a record of success, though.
Oh,
Douchebag or not.
leading up, yeah, I'm not gonna deny that, but anyone that touts that blows his own horn for years and years and years and years and years and talk about douchebags, like you said. Moving on. Um, open starts off side two with that timbala intro and the horns that come in, bah, bah, like oh my God, it's an ass shaker of a track, and then featuring the Emotions, and the Emotions had a hit the year before with a couple of years before with Best of My Love from '77. Funk Arama with the Best of My Love, but I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Now, with Boogie Wonderland, you have a lot of, yes, it's a disco tinged track, but you know what? It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's funk. It's soul. It's R&B. It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. And with this song, you have a lot of dynamics going on with the layering of the vocals between the women and the guy, well, with Philip Bailey, with the call and response on the choruses, uh, and the strings that come in, and again the use of timbala and the horns. Woo! Forget about it. It's like the whole album, I Am, is fan effing tastic. It is so good. It is a slab of two. It's a two-sided slab of funk, R&B, and pop.
Of course, the other big hit on the album was a very uh, in character David Foster classic ballad hit After the Love Is Gone.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
nailed that one too. Yeah, the
Wh-
whole album was really good.
And even that lead off lyric on After the Love Is Gone, for a while to love is all we could do. I mean, it was like, whoo, where do you go after that? As a
Oh, man, yeah, you put it in my head. Love is all. Oh,
Okay,
something happened. We're not even talking about that one. Okay, how about
okay.
Dance Boogie Wonderland?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mm. And as a, I was 9 years old, and I knew this shit. I knew this. I had the album, and I have it on CD as a remastered with bonus tracks and stuff. Every song on I Am is good. In the Stone, Rocket, After Love Is Gone, Boogie Wonderland. Uh, oh my, uh, mm, forget.
Surprisingly,
Hmm.
I had mentioned my stepdad Max and his record collection that
Yeah,
I kind of took control of after him and my mom got together. And he was a big mainstream rock, southern rock
yeah.
fan, the Marcus Tucker band stuff. Um, my copy of I Am came out of Max's collection.
A good album is a good album, and this is a
Yeah,
good album. But we're focusing on Boogie Wonderland. You want a
yeah.
good ass shaker of a track with vocal dynamics and strings and horns. This track is for you. Get it. Listen to it. Enjoy it. Shake your ass to it. Have fun with it. Boogie Wonderland, my fourth pick. Your third?
All right. Well, let's see. We've done disco. We've done Blue Eyed Soul Ballad. How about we return to that country rock, southern rock?
Why
And
not?
this is from one of the Marshall Tucker band's big buddies. They used to play together all the time. They guested on each other's records. This is The Devil Went Down to Georgia by the Charlie
Ooh,
Daniels Band.
ooh.
I like a lot of the stuff that Charlie Daniels Band did in the 70s.
Yeah,
Musically, they kicked ass in a lot of ways
yeah.
back then.
They were like a rock country band. Like, yeah, they did
Yeah.
country in a much of in a. Sorry, I'll shut up in a sec. They did country, but in a very much in a rock style. Like they presented themselves as a rock band doing country music. They had balls.
Yeah, and they would add like blues, R&B elements, all kinds of stuff. They would just jam out and go on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for
But
my cigarettes because I need one right now. It's like,
see, the Devil Went Down to Georgia. If there's one song that Charlie Daniels Band was known for, it's this. Um, this thing happened right in the heart of the dying days of the disco peak,
yeah.
basically. So what a weird song to be such a monster hit,
Hmm.
because this is not disco at all. This is anything but.
Let this go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it is such a cool, fun song, and it
Hmm.
rocks. It kicks ass. These guys play their asses off on this thing.
Yeah.
Um, it's a song about a contest between a fiddler and the devil, and I think they called the contest wrong. Frankly, I think the devil sounded better,
Mm.
and his band of demons. I mean, Johnny, fine, whatever, rising up your bow. Fire on the mountain, run, boys, run. Devil's in the house with the rising sun. Yeah, great stuff. But come on, man, that band of demons.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got down and dirty and funky.
Hmm.
I think the devil got screwed in that contest. I want to recount.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get
But
it.
it's a great song either way.
I get it. I get it. Okay. Good one. Good one. My next one was an actual single that was released from this group, Wings with Goodnight Tonight.
There's Paul McCartney again.
Yeah, yeah. And again, a good song is a good song.
Yes.
Uh, I remember my sister Anna bought this single, um, and we played it so much that the single started to skip. I just think it's a good track. It's like, don't say it, don't say it.
You
You
can
can say
see.
anything, but don't say goodnight tonight. It's like, don't
Yeah.
say it. And the video is just kooky. It's just basically a performance video, but it's like a, fun video. Like they're poking, like they're taking the piss out of themselves in terms of like they're not, I mean, obviously they're serious about the song, but they're not serious about themselves as their perception of as a band. I mean, they're just having fun with themselves, right? Making fun of themselves. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had to correct myself though, but it's just a good pop song. And forgive my singing, ladies and gentlemen. I can't sing for shit. But it's my next one, my number three, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Those three. Yeah, I mean that's what Paul McCartney does best, pop songs, and he has many, many, many of them. That
Silly love songs or not, they're still good. So,
yes,
yeah.
I think he's got 5 or 6 songs on our
Yeah.
countdown so far. I
Yeah.
think he probably is the artist with the most tracks.
Yeah. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, your next one, number two.
All right, my number two. All right. I had mentioned earlier that I might be coming back to these guys again, and here we are. Sail on down the line, half a mile or so. Don't really want to know where you're going. That's right,
Oh.
it's the Commodores with Sail On. Oh my God.
Woo! Is that the
Again,
is that from the album Midnight Magic?
I believe so. I actually have the CD over here, but
I
yeah.
love the title track. Oh, mm, mm. Okay.
Yeah, this was again, like I had said about Easy a couple years back, a couple episodes back. This was peak. I mean,
Damn.
Lionel Richie balladeering, and with
Woo!
the Commodores there to fully support him, like he didn't necessarily have in his solo career. They added something special
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, yeah,
He hadn't become a formula writer yet, which he kind of would later.
yeah,
Um, this stuff was real fresh and emotional and musically just man, it's got the feels, it's got the funk, it's but it's yeah,
mm,
emotionally powerful.
yeah,
If you really dig into the lyrics of some of these songs that he wrote with the Commodores, then Sail On, Easy, Three Times a Lady, Still, I mean, all these were just
yeah. I think yeah, and oh yeah, I think just quickly, and then we'll move on. I think that there came a point like after Can't Slow Down. I think he became formulaic in the writing. Like the next album after Can't Slow Down, Dancing on the Ceiling, it's just Can't Slow Down, 1986.
yeah.
He didn't progress. He didn't grow. Nothing was different than on on Dancing on the Ceiling than before Can't Slow Down, you know what I mean? There was nothing different. There was no change. There was no growth, I guess you'd say. But yeah, I mean, Sail On. Whoo! My God. All right, moving on. My number two, I'm gonna do a switch out. Video Kill the Radio Star
Ooh.
from
Oh,
Buggles.
oh, oh.
Jeff Downes, Trevor Horn. I just loved the use of the production on it, the piano, the intro, the bass, which if you listen to it, if I'm listening to it now in my head, I'm thinking Jaco Pastorius. That kind of bass line that he does, that fretless bass that Pastorius does, it kind of sounds like, the same on uh Video Kill the Radio Star. And it's just a good, well-constructed pop track. Um, and it was very apropos. I've said before. Who knew that that was going to happen? I mean, but it was foreshadowed. And a beautiful melody, a beautiful hook to it, infectious as all get out. And the ending of the track, the fade out, there's a fade out that happens. And then on the end, the pianos come back. The piano comes back in with the synths, and they repeat the verses again, the first and second verse, and they just overlap one another. And then it fades out, and you hear the woman go, I can't, I'm not going to do it. I can't hit that high note. But a beautiful song,
Yes.
beautiful song, a very on target in terms
Yeah.
of the record business, in terms of the music industry. But yeah, that's my number two.
Famously and appropriately the first song played on MTV.
That's right. That's right.
Uh, yeah, that's a great song. Of course, Jeff and Trevor would be members of Yes briefly. And of course, Jeff is a member of Yes again, and Jeff would
Yes.
go on to help found Asia, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was something really unique and cool about those first couple of Buggles albums that they
Yeah.
did. They were and they sounded like nobody else.
Yeah. Released on Island Records, just for people to know that. I'm just like, yeah. But that one song is just like, put the blame on VCR. It's like, whoo.
Yeah, very dated lyrics, but it doesn't matter.
It
It's
doesn't matter. I mean,
a great song.
certain there are certain songs that take you back to a certain time.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them do, but this one in particular, and then when she says, I can't even say you are a radio star, and it just keeps repeating and yeah, I can't even hit that
Radio
note.
song. I'm not gonna try to hit that note either
No,
right now.
no, I'd hurt
Yeah.
myself. But and not in a good way. But it's a good song, and a good song is a good song. So that's my number two. So your number one?
All right. My number one really makes sense. It's only logical. The logical song by Supertramp. Y'all, I mean, it's my favorite album is Crime of the Century, my all-time favorite album. I didn't put anything on the list from that because, well, none of them made the top 100 of the year. But the logical songs certainly did. In fact, Breakfast in America, the album it came from, was literally the best selling album of 1979 globally.
Yeah, yeah,
That is amazing for a weird ass band like Supertramp.
yeah, yeah,
To
and yeah,
do that even once, to be the best selling band in the world. So, uh, now the logical song, though, has always resonated with me in particular. It's obviously a catchy, hook filled pop song, but these lyrics,
they're heavy.
yeah, for anyone who feels like a bit of an outcast, who feels disconnected from their society, this song is still so relevant all these years later,
Yeah,
sadly.
yeah, yeah. The lyrics, yeah. When I was young, it seems that life was so wonderful.
Beautiful, magical. Yeah, I mean, but then they sent me away to teach me how to be practical, logical,
Sensible. Yeah,
responsible, practical.
yeah.
Yeah, it's it's
And then you
basically
hear,
about how you're supposed to conform
yeah,
and just fit in with everyone around you, but why?
yeah. And then because you hear the overdub, a vegetable, like with
Yes,
him and Hollowell, Roger Hodgson and John Hollowell doing that overdub, a vegetable. It's like, yeah, there's a lot more going on there than just like, being, it's like the older you get, the more cynical you get, and the more you're told to conform. And
times when all the world's asleep.
yeah,
Questions run too deep for such a simple man. Yeah,
yeah. And then when you ask, can you tell me who I am? And
who I am. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to hit that note. I'm no Roger Hodgson or John Anthony Hollywell. Those
yeah,
guys can do some ball breaker notes.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
woo.
this is
Okay.
only my fourth or fifth favorite Supertramp album,
Yeah,
but the logical song has been a very long time favorite that deeply
yeah,
resonates on a personal
yeah,
level because yeah, I've always felt a bit disconnected from the society around me. I get what Roger was going for here. So,
yeah.
and
That's
obviously so did a whole lot of other people. It was a number one hit.
Yeah, I think that's why you and I get along so well because we kind of relate to that kind of stuff. No, I get it. I get it 100%. I get it 100%. And by the way, just a quick note, I said this before. I played Bob. I wanted him to listen to the track "Crime of the Century," and I made him sit in the car with me one day outside of a shopping supermarket to listen to the song because it was on the classic rock K97. And the middle section came up with the piano intro, like that grand, piano that comes in on the instrumental section from the midsection out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just very grand and epic. And he's like, I don't get it. I'm like, okay, let's go shopping. Like I said, I guess everything to you is an Anne Murray concert. Let's go. All right, like he didn't get it. So yeah, great track. All right, we must carry on, ladies and gentlemen. My number one track
Dun,
from
dun, dun.
1979, My Sharona by the Knack.
Oh,
From deep philosophical in questions about your identity and your place in life to just a good ass-kicking rock track with stuttering choruses. My Sharona. I mean, like, you know, with, and I'm talking about the full version with the guitar solo. Okay. Okay. Just a good ass-shaking track, catchy hook, great guitar work on this. Uh, and just that bass line that comes in, that dun 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 dun, dun, it's like dun, 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 dun. It's like, oh my, like what? It builds and builds and builds. There's a lot of dynamics to this song, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a good ass kicking piece of rock music. Okay. And it's my Sharona. It's a good song. So that's my number one from 1979.
nice. I had to mute myself because the dogs started going crazy out there. So hopefully they won't hear. But
No, it's fine.
yeah, My Sharona, yeah, it is a classic. It was a huge hit for a reason. It
Yeah.
is hook loaded. I mean, there was a lot of backlash after the whole Nuke the Knack thing. People
Yeah.
thought they got overhyped as the next Beatles, even down to the cover of Get the Knack.
Yeah.
And of course, the lyrics of My Sharona, considering it's about Doug Feiger fantasizing about teenage babysitter, the actual Sharona,
When you're
who's
gonna
a
give
real
me some
person,
Tommy
mind you.
Sharona. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty creepy when you get down to it. But it's a killer song. The hook
Yeah.
there, if you just, I mean,
And just a little side note, ladies and gentlemen, yes, some of these songs have deep, I guess you could say controversial lyrical meaning and content, but I'm coming at it from the point of view of the song itself. Okay, there's no deep uh, like alternative agenda I've got going on here. I'm coming at it and looking at it from the position of the structure of the song and how good it is. Okay, and that's all it is. So back to the original schedule program. Go ahead.
I actually do have a hidden agenda. I'm actually hypnotizing all of you and embedding thoughts about the deep state inside all your minds, just so you know. But
There
you'll
you go.
forget that I just said this.
There you go. There you go.
Just kidding, folks.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, My Sharona. It is great. The Knack had some other great songs
Yeah,
too.
good
That
girls
were,
don't, but I do.
but yeah, that one really gets yeah, till she's sitting on your face. It hurts. Oh, yeah, okay. We won't get into that, but and then others that were a little less salacious, like Can't Put a Price on Love is absolutely amazing. It should have been a huge hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. But back to the rest of the countdown. My first honorable mention is okay, this one has a good personal emotional connection too. Vicky, my late mother-in-law, she died in 2008. I'm not gonna belabor it and air the family laundry out and everything, but she was very sick for a long time at the end of her life, and she had a lot of rough stuff going on.
Mhm.
But she chose a song as the ringtone on her phone, knowing she was slowly, painfully dying.
You
I
okay?
Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that is the ultimate survivor song. It's the ultimate defiant, fuck you, I'm going to make it through this.
Yeah.
And she was that way to the end through a lot of horrible stuff she had to deal with. Um, so I can never hear this song without thinking of her.
I get it. I get it.
But aside from that personal connection, it's a classic song. I mean, Gloria Gaynor just knocked it out of the park with this, and the message is very very strong.
Yeah.
Aside from being an ass shaker, as you like to say,
Yeah.
it's just yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who's fighting against the odds, who's just wanting to show someone, you know what, I'm bigger than this. You're not going to defeat me.
You're not gonna get me. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Gloria Gaynor's "I Will Survive" is the song for that.
Yeah. I
So yeah,
personally, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I was
but
gonna say,
here's to you, Vicky. You are not forgotten. So I will
rest,
survive. Gloria
rest
Gaynor.
in peace. No, I was gonna say, I personally like, I can never can say goodbye, but her
Oh, that's
version
a
of it.
good one too.
Um, but no, it's a good one. My first honorable mention. How you gonna see me now, Alice Cooper. Um, this song, the video for it is quite hilarious. Wow, the video is him in an institution, and he's recovering from whatever broke him mentally, and his wife and kids are dealing with, are dealing with life on the outside. And the video ends with him going home, and he's cured, and the wife is being and the kids are being taken away to the loony bin. So the roles have been reversed. The wife goes crazy having to look after the kids, drinking and smoking, whatever. And basically he's recovered and she's in the loony bin. So uh, that's the comical side of it. The deep side of it is that he wrote this song for his wife Cheryl because he was getting over being, abusing alcohol, and he said, "We've never been together with me sober. So how is she going to view me in a sober frame of mind? Is she going to still love me? Is she going to think I'm a stranger? How are we going to get through this? So are we going to make it last? Is it going to be okay?" So that's what the song is all about.
Are you going to see me now? Please don't see me ugly, babe.
I know I've let you down in so many ways.
Yeah, it's a
Are
powerful
you going to
song.
love the man when your man, are you going to love your man when your man gets home? I mean, okay, that's a bit misogynistic in that, approach. But the sentiment of it is, are you still going to see me the way you saw me before all this happened? And, during my stay, where I was before. And it's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah, Alice was mostly famous for all, his spooky, monster, supernatural kind
Yeah.
of songs and creepy stuff, but he could get pretty deep and personal.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, do check Alice Cooper out on The Muppet Show. When he was on. That's my 7-year-old
It's time to
self.
light the music or start
Yeah.
the music. It's time to light the lights.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Where he played a messenger of the devil, and he had to try and sign up all the Muppets to be in line in Satan's service. You know what I mean? Um,
That's why Johnny beat the devil in that fiddle contest because his
there you
messenger was
go.
busy on the
There you
Muppet
go.
Show.
All right.
Unbelievable.
There
It
you
all
go.
ties together, people.
There you go.
The
It's all a
conspiracy
rich
is real.
tapestry. Okay, your last honorable mention for 79.
All right. Well, I'm going to tie the douchebags together.
Ah!
We've talked about David Pack, who is not a douchebag, but he wrote a song from the perspective of a douchebag with How Much I Feel. We've talked about David Foster, who is a successful douchebag. Now I'm going to
1917.
talk about Robert John, the narrator of Sad
Ooh,
Times.
rest in
Turn
peace.
the other way. I
Rest in
don't
peace.
want to see you cry. Now, the reason this guy is a douchebag in this song is because he is singing this song to his number two lover, while his number one lover has been gone. But his number one, she's coming home today. Oh, so now that number one's coming home,
He's going to say goodbye to
he
number
knew
two.
that come a day we would have to say goodbye. So he's giving the kiss off, but he's a coward and a douchebag because I don't want to see you cry. I don't want to deal with the emotional guilt and
The
damage that
baggage.
I've done.
Yeah.
That's a douchebag. So
Supreme.
beautiful song, love it. But again, it's another one of those
Yeah,
songs
I
you
get
really
it.
dig into the lyrics and it's like, wait, what?
I get it.
That's what he's saying.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, I love the song. It takes me back to 1979, perfect pop gem. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he did recently pass away, so rest in peace, Robert
Yeah.
John.
Rip Robert John.
Yeah. My last honorable mention is an instrumental. Herb Alpert with Rise. Just a beautiful, seductive piece of pop with a beautiful horn section that comes on the, and like on the main melody. It just gets your ass moving, but in a very slow, seductive, sensual kind of way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I love the track. I love the rhythm of it, the pace of it, the the um the horn that come in, and yeah, and I first heard this song when it was used on General Hospital in 2 years later in 1981, between the two characters of Luke and Laura. Uh, Anthony Geary and Jeannie Francis when they first got together, and he seduced her on the dance floor. And this song was playing, but I won't go into that. You know, he forced himself on her, but
Yeah, the soaps had some pretty sketchy stuff going on back in those
yeah,
days.
yeah, you couldn't talk about it now because it's considered politically incorrect. But I won't even go into it. But the song itself was playing in the background. And that's what I remember. But I remember the song. I've heard it since, and I just think it's a beautiful piece of pop R&B instrumental piece. I just think it's great. And it's not really disco. I call it funk R&B. I mean, yes, you had the bass and the hand claps on the snare, to sort of give a bit of a funk feel to it, but that's what works for me. And that's my last honorable mention for 1979.
Yet another instrumental. We've got quite a few up in the 70s,
Yeah, yeah,
surprisingly.
yeah. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The conclusion of Tripping Through the 70s with the year 1979. Um, I'll say it again. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And for me, it's brought back a lot of memories, good and bad. That's what life is. You have some good times, you have some bad times. You know what I mean? Um, it can't all be, can't all be happy. You got to go through different emotions to get to where you are now. And hopefully, listening to these lists and revisiting these lists, you will have, experienced some good memories, and hopefully rediscovered some stuff, and hopefully uh, discovered some stuff you haven't heard before. That's what it's all about. I want to thank Bill Schuster, otherwise known as Bluebeard, for coming along with me on this epic journey of music and mayhem. And that's with the two of us. And, hopefully you've enjoyed it too, Bill.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And we discussed this between takes. We will be coming to you with an 80s series. There's no title for it yet. I have to come up with a clever title. But we will be discussing our favorite songs from 1980 to 1989. That's coming up very soon. Bill's got his list going. Uh, he's an odd bird. He does lists all the time. I still
I
have to.
have my list from 1960 to 2009 already.
We won't go
50
there.
years of work.
There we go. We won't go there.
Won't guarantee we're doing all those shows, but I'm
Yeah.
ready if we do.
We definitely are going to tackle 80 to 89. And we will bring it to you as soon as we possibly can. So please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content that we've got coming up. We've got more show ideas. And I've got one that I'm going to do, and hopefully Bill will join me. If not, then I'm doing it solo. But I'm going to plug it here. It's a series called Attack of the Killer B-Sides, where I'm going to be looking at albums that have a killer B-side from track 1 to track 10 or track 1 to track 7. It doesn't matter how long. But and it doesn't mean that the A sides are any or less than great. I just want to attack the B sides and give you my favorite B sides. So I've got a list of 7 albums I'm going to bring to you as quick as I can. I'm trying to get Bill in on this, but we'll see about that. Because he has a hard time separating himself from side A to side B. So we're gonna work on that. But that's coming up as soon as we can. And there's more shows coming up. 30th anniversary, 30th album anniversaries. Uh, Coming up with Ken Cheshire and Jim Bricker, and live album spotlight on an evening of Yes Music Plus. That's coming up with both uh, Ken Cheshire and Jim Bricker, and that's coming up very soon. So please look after yourselves and one another, and we'll see you soon with more episodes. Bye for now.